What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is April 8th of 2018. Well, folks, it's time for a daily update here on the DataDash channel. Today we have a few different important things to dive into on the update. First and foremost, as always, though, we'll be spending some time looking at market valuations as well as doing some technical analysis on the market leaders. But outside of that as well, guys, we really have a big headline to dive into. A lot of recent headlines have been announcing that a $3 billion venture capital fund run by the oil tycoon family of the Rockefellers, as many people know, has decided to start investing in cryptocurrencies, and they're looking for the long-term potentials rather than the short-term. So, really positive news in regards to crypto and seeing institutional interest get involved. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the video. But along with that as well, guys, before we dive into the daily update, I want to share with you all that I'm very proud and humbled by the fact that I've gotten invited for the first time, I've never been here before, to an event, the Futurama Blockchain Innovators Summit in Dubai in early May. I'm really excited to make it out there. It's supposed to be a really, really interesting conference. So if you guys can make it out there, if you can make it to the summit, that would be really awesome. But there's going to be a lot of cool speakers. As we get on the list here, we can see McAfee is one of the speakers. We got Brock Pierce, Miko Matsumura. We've got Joshua Hong, including myself, as well as Sashwat, who runs Altcoin Buzz, another big YouTube channel in the crypto space. So lots and lots of really cool speakers. There's a lot of cool stuff going on, lots of tech innovation. And as we all know, talking about oil tycoons, Dubai has a lot of oil money there, so they're investing in a lot of the new premier technologies. So hope you guys can make it out there. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into the update. So first and foremost, I want to spend some time talking about the general tone of markets. We can obviously see for the most part things are on the up and up. We've got a few players in the red at the bottom here. Again, generally speaking, the market is taking a positive tone. And because of that, we've started to see market valuations rise up about 16 billion from our previous support at 250 billion. So as we take it down here to the 7-day, we can really start to see that these big jumps in Bitcoin have given way to not only Bitcoin gaining valuation, but also the altcoin space. As we take a look down here on the 7-day, we started to see again market valuations rising up a good few percentage points, seeing some confidence research back into markets. So again, this is what I really want to hit home on, guys. As we take a look here at the yearly, we can really start to see the trend coming into play here. It's not always clear in just Bitcoin or one of your favorite altcoins. You have to take a look at overall market capitalization, because this is the entire market. This is the market cycle here. Now, Bitcoin does lead the market, meaning that if Bitcoin tends to go up, altcoins tend to follow in some regard. And the vice versa works as well. If Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down. But we're starting to really see a lowering in the sell-off, and meaning the sell side action. The market's not selling off as fast as it was before, and we're really starting to see a flattening and a plateau, meaning accumulation is hitting in this market, where we're starting to see sideways price action. So that's really good. It shows that the market is basing out, it's finding a support line, and we can see it in the market dominance here, guys. So I'm going to go ahead. I know my my webcam usually gets in the way. I'm starting to get better about that, guys. I've got to find a way to fix that, so I will soon. Just got to be patient with me. I've kept pretty busy recently. But as we can take a look here, I'll go ahead and stretch out the chart here. We can see that market dominance, again, is starting to flatten out here. I'll go ahead and scroll down a little bit. As market dominance has lost over time in regards to Bitcoin, we're starting to plateau at about 45%. Again, this was the range we were calling for, anywhere between 45 to 50%. And I think we're going to stop on this lower end. I think we're going to stop at 45% and start to roll over. While we've already started to see other coins gain back some of their losses from back in December. So again, we're losing market dominance in players like Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash. Going across the list here, I think Litecoin needs to deplete a little bit. I know we get some avid Litecoin fans, not trying to insult you guys, but I think in the short term, as we'll take a look at the chart in just a few minutes, we're going to start seeing some of these market leaders again continue to lose dominance, as well as Bitcoin, just with the fact that it won't be able to gain momentum comparative to other coins that aren't in the top 10, okay? So anyways, that's my general stance on it. Now, I want to spend some time spending a little bit of extra time talking about some technical analysis and market cycles, guys, because seeing as we don't have a lot of headlines today, we can spend some time talking about what a lot of you out there really care about, and that is talking about price action of markets. So we keep on talking about accumulation of markets, and I hear so many people who are still set on this idea of Bitcoin going to 3,000 or 4,000, and I think we're all entitled to our opinions, and it's good to see both sides, guys. I'm not a perma bull by any means. It's just like how back when Bitcoin was at 10K, I started to say, you know what, guys, we might have to start considering that this market needs a correction. And even though we went much higher, we eventually did get a correction. We started to see massive sell-side action in Bitcoin. So I play devil's advocate in every regard, and the conclusions that I come to are from doing that every single day. It's how I trade. You have to think in both mindsets, and you can't get stuck in one. But I see so many people it tends to be the same people who I saw who were perma bulls back here at the peak of the run up in Bitcoin and altcoins, and they thought December would never end with the altcoin cycle. And it's the same people who are saying that are now saying that markets are done for. We're not going to see anything good for the next 2 or 3 years, and we're going to decline, much like we did back here, all the way back in 2014 specifically, all the way through to the later part of 2016. Well, I got to tell you all, folks, this time I have to say, as much as I don't usually don't hear this turn out to be true in most cases, it's different this time, in my opinion. And I will say that as much as I do believe, we were due for a correction, and we've gotten it, folks. When we were at 20K for Bitcoin, and then after the craziness in December where I couldn't find a cheap altcoin, I was calling that at 25% of market dominance for altcoins, as we saw back here. That was the peak, and look at where it was. It was 25%. So I understand markets do cycle, and we were overdue for a correction. But as you can start to see in the headlines, and as you can start to see in the sideways price action and the lack of sell-side action in Bitcoin, we're really starting to see people start to begin taking more of a positive tune in cryptocurrencies, to where I don't think, at worst case scenario, we'll hit 6,000. But below that, I don't think we're going to go to any lower price range. I just don't think we're going to see Bitcoin at $5,000 or $4,000. And the reason I'm saying that is because of the positive developments on the fundamental sense, the increased institutional positive news of the SEC opening up discussions for Bitcoin ETFs. As much as I don't see it as positive in this sense, it shows that George Soros, and what we're going to talk about later in regards to the Rockefeller VC fund, that there's a lot of big institutions and multi-billionaire enterprises that are starting to get into cryptocurrencies. So we need to not take that with a grain of salt. They're starting to accumulate when the market itself is accumulating, when it's building a base, and that's what we're seeing. We really haven't moved any lower for the past 7 to 8 days in the market. We're starting to see the month of April take a pretty positive tone, as we talked about back in March. So again, worst case scenario, I think, is that we're going to 6,000. But the thing I would tell people with Bitcoin is that if you want to take that risk, if you believe that Bitcoin's going to 5,000 or 6,000, that's fine. We might reach it. I'm not going to doubt it, guys. But you have to know that you're playing with the odds that you might miss on this opportunity to get Bitcoin at fresh lows, around a 65 to 70% discount in markets. It's really what you got to ask yourself. If I had cash right now, I do have some cash I'm thinking that I could possibly put into crypto, I would be adding at this part. Now, again, that's just my opinion. I'm not giving you guys advice on that. But if you come here to watch my opinion sometimes, I'm going to share it with you guys. That's generally what I'm feeling with Bitcoin. Again, you remove all of these drawings and stuff. I'll even turn off the indicators. Again, you can start to see that there is much less sell-side action, almost a curvature where it's starting to base out in the markets. We're not seeing the sharp run-up or the sharp sell-off anymore. I think we're going to start a nice, steady run-up coming up here in the next few weeks, but we're accumulating right now, and we're starting to find a little bit of price strength confirmation. That's the main goal here. That's what I'm looking for, guys, and I think more than anything, positive stuff is soon to come. So, or positive price action, if you want to be more specific. All right, let's go ahead here, take a look at Ethereum to Bitcoin here. Again, same exact story. As much as I think Ethereum could drop a little bit lower, got to be fair here. It's accumulating. It's going sideways, holding support at around 5,500,000 Satoshis. And if we get a curve back up to about 6 million Satoshis, I think you could possibly see this try to test and get above the 200-day. Might be kept down, though. Not sure about that, guys. We'll just have to see. Again, it's moving sideways. You can't really tell where it's going to go if it's going sideways. But it's a matter of whether or not it breaks up to either a previous price level. For example, that would be where you could see resistance here on Ethereum, or where it broke through and then also couldn't get back up there before. If it breaks up to 6 million Satoshis, that could be an opportunity to possibly pick up some momentum to the upside. And if it also rolls back down to the lows, again, that would mean most likely that there's more sell-side action. When it's accumulating, you can't build a serious opinion on it. But it is nice. It's at a much better discount than where it was back a few months ago. XRP BTC, I'll rush through these guys. Again, you guys I know don't really like them. Ripple going below the 200-day. Again, repeating history. It's so common. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin Cash here. Again, continuing to deplete. Nothing here, guys. Again, not waiting, not touching it till 5 million Satoshis. Litecoin, again, rolling over here. I still feel confident that this is at least going to the 200-day, guys. Just got to stick to it. That's my opinion. I stick to my guns in this sense. ADA BTC, let's go ahead and take a look here. ADA still going sideways. Cardano is definitely building some market resilience by accumulating here, but no serious volume in the market right now. We haven't seen anything. This is one of the more high volume cryptocurrencies, but still, even at these levels, we're not seeing any serious buy side action. Still just a few $1 million worth of trading volume. So we definitely need a little bit more buy side action on this. Let's go ahead and take a look here at NEO BTC. NEO continuing to deplete below. I'm going to go ahead and get it on Bittrex here. Continuing to go down below the 200-day. Again, still looking for this to go between the 5 to 600,000 Satoshi range. If you can get NEO in there, guys, I think it's a steal in this market. And as the volume slowly just pushes this down, it's very light volume. You're not seeing any crazy sell side volume. As the light volume in the market continues to push this down, I think you'll see it pretty soon. It's not going to take that long. Give it a few days, maybe a week or two. And as we go into the altcoin cycle, NEO might be a good pickup. All right, so let's go ahead here, take a look at some other ones. EOS BTC. EOS, again, accumulating here. I still think this needs to find a base before I get in it, hopefully on one of these price levels or on the 50-day moving average as it has done in the past. So let's go ahead here, think about a few more players. I'm winning on EOS. Does look good, though. I like the price strength confirmation as well as the volume coming in. Let's go ahead here, take a look at Icon. Icon as well. Got a little bit of a pump yesterday, but nothing serious. Again, we need to start seeing this curve up more to the upside. Let's go ahead and take a look here on the hourly. What was interesting, it's kind of wedging in between the 200 hour here and the 50 hour. We'll have to see if it breaks down or it breaks up. Keep an eye on that price. If it gets above that 200 hour and builds a base support like it did over here and it holds, that could be, I think, what would be seen as the bottom for Icon, and you could start to move back up to those previous highs. All right. So let's go through a few more here. I think I got a few requests. Someone was asking me to take a look at Knowles just earlier today. I got a message about that, so I thought I might as well go ahead and talk about it. Knowles is looking really good. As much as it was taking a little bit of a corrective period here, I'm still long on Knowles, and I actually added to my position down here yesterday. And luckily, it's paid off so far. It hasn't done too much craziness, but nonetheless, I'm up on it. And so far, it's still looking like Knowles is finding that base around halfway of where it went through its highs. And it's looking like it wants to curve back up and break up to new highs as we go into the next altcoin cycle. Again, I wouldn't bet against Knowles, guys. It's still cheap. It's one of the cheap protocols in this market. And as you all know, I'm bullish on protocol platforms. Last but not least, I'll go ahead and take a look at Lisk. Let's go ahead and take a look at Lisk here. So as we take a look at the hourly, this is still chugging along quite well. We finally got out of this little wedge that was forming. We've obviously started to see the 200 hour for the first time since back in December start to curve back up. We haven't had this yet, and we're starting to see a breakout in the price to the upside. So I'm hoping that if we can get a close above 140,000 Satoshis, this one's going to start ripping. I know there's some news coming out on Monday in regards to Lisk, so stay tuned for that. We'll have to see if there's some more volume coming in, if the news is successful or positive for the market. But again, really excited for Lisk here. I think it's going to do good. All right, so we did a little bit of extra time in regards to talking about some technical analysis. Again, I'll cover any ones next time that I didn't cover in this update. I want to go ahead and talk about the news here, guys. So the Rockefeller's $3 billion venture capital firm begins to invest in cryptocurrency. So the headline here doesn't get into too much detail. Of course, as always, headlines are quite broad, and they really want to grab your attention. But this is supposedly been covered by a few different outlets, so I'm taking it so far as it being official news here. Venrock, actually, they did come up with an official announcement with the fund that Venrock is going to be working with. But it is pretty much confirmed now that Venrock is going to be partnering, which is a capital firm run by under the Rockefeller family, John D. Rockefeller family, is investigating and investing in cryptocurrency. So down here we can see Venrock will be partnering with CoinFund. They are an infamous VC fund investing in cryptocurrencies. And with this, they're going to be exploring with some of their $3 billion worth of capital and venture capital into cryptocurrencies. Now, they're not putting $3 billion of money into cryptocurrencies. I want to make sure that's clear. But they are starting to invest what I would assume at least a few tens of millions of dollars into these new crypto ventures. Now, this is good news on some fronts. I understand some people would be very worrisome. It seems like it's the week of like globalists and huge business tycoons getting into cryptocurrencies. We've got, for example, we've got George Soros getting in, the currency manipulator coming into the cryptocurrency space. Probably not positive news to have a currency manipulator coming into cryptocurrency markets. But you've also got, in this case, the Rockefeller family is the multi-billion-dollar dynasty getting in. Well, it seems like a small step, but it at least shows that there is some institutional interest in this market, guys. And the big thing here is that they're not interested in short-term gains, but rather the long-term future of crypto. So basically speaking, they're going to be investing most likely alongside what CoinFund invests in. And CoinFund is well known for investing in the Kick ICO, the messaging app that everyone was probably aware of when they were a young teenager. Or I guess, I don't know, I never used Kick personally, but I know many people who use Kick, and many people are embarrassed to say they use Kick. I guess that's why they raised an ICO. Anyways, yeah, so Venrock now getting into this space, I think for the most part is pretty positive news. Again, it shows that a lot of these kind of outsider funds that aren't the big banks or the big investment funds are getting into cryptocurrencies where they can. You're seeing this happen all across the board in Silicon Valley and a lot of the tech hubs. Again, I can tell you guys, when I worked out at my startup in Silicon Valley, the thing I always picked up when I would go to, like, not so much parties, but little events where I meet people who run multi-million-dollar VC funds overnight, they would flip it into ICO funds that would literally go out and really do what's known as a spray and pray method, where you just buy into a ton of different ICOs, just like how they did in Silicon Valley. You know that 9/10 of what you invest in is going to fail, but that 1/10 of your investment is going to pay off for all the losses and turn a return in the long term. So that diversification is what they go for. And I think that's what you're getting with Venrock here. It's nothing ridiculously crazy positive, but at the same time, it's nothing negative as well. So I'll leave these links down below. You guys can dive into it for yourself, but I'd like to hear what you guys think about it. Do you guys think this is the Rockefellers getting their oily hands into the cryptocurrency space, or do you just think this is simply a mere coincidence and an interest in cryptocurrencies and a sense of diversification into this industry? Love to hear what you guys think down in the comments down below, as well as what's interesting you in the market right now. There's a lot of interesting plays in the altcoin space. The big thing I want to emphasize here, outside of what we talked about, is that if you go across the board in altcoins, guys, there's a lot of spotty volume coming in, a lot of big candles to the upside coming in. I know we had one thing I forgot to mention earlier is Proof of Authority. Proof of Authority had a huge buyer come in the other day. I noticed this. It locked me out of my position on Proof of Authority, but I will be getting back in when it's cheaper. But nonetheless, lots of interesting volume across the market, guys. We're starting to see some more risk-taking come in with a lot of these smaller plays. So keep an eye on that, guys. Let me know what you guys think is interesting. And please, if you guys are interested, check in to the Futurama Blockchain Innovators Summit. Can't wait to go to it. I've never been to Dubai. It's going to be crazy, guys. Completely humbled by it. So anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Stay tuned.